Hi everyone, welcome to Haunted Nights at the Black Swan. I'm here with K&L Ghosthunters who are filming the events and filming the location throughout the night. We're here till 2 o'clock, so hopefully we get quite a lot. These guys also did a bit of filming up at Colchester the other day, so have a look on their website, have a look at the link which you'll probably find. And Black Swan, it's a sort of favourite of ours for Haunted Nights at the moment. Quite a bit of activity, but the building itself has quite a varied history. It's been around here since roughly the 15th century. There's always been something like a medieval type of building. The building that you are in sort of now, or what we're in I should say, was sort of built between the 15th and 17th century. They do believe that the remains of the original building is actually underneath the floor. It has quite a varied history with people coming in and out of the building. You've got a family who the building was originally built for, which was the Bose family. I think it was about 1470 or something like that, might be wrong on that date. But basically at that time it was the Sheriff of York, obviously living here. He then went on to become Lord Mayor of the area. The rest of the family then sort of followed suit, so you've got like sons and then obviously grandsons who also became Lord Mayors. Again, the family itself had quite a past. I think they had links to Henry VII. They've also one of them actually went on to be the master goldsmith in London for Queen Elizabeth, I'm led to believe. So yeah, the family itself had the building built specifically for them. However, over the years it has changed hands. In the late 17th century it did become an inn, a pub as it was. There is quite a few sort of other people that have lived here over that time though. There is the Wolfe family who lived here. One being a lady called Henrietta Wolfe. She actually had a son who was suddenly ended up as General James Wolfe, I think it was. He was one of the youngest generals in the British Army who actually went on to, I think it was Quebec in Canada, led a revolt over there to kick the French out. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing these days.
Excellent.
But yes, he was one of the youngest generals the country's ever had. He's actually well renowned over in Canada for that. I think there's like one of the Canadian Air Force have links themselves to this actual inn. They actually sort of celebrate the inn for what it is. Even though he wasn't born here, he did grow up here, he did live in the building. But that being said, he did die young. His mother, who obviously was here as well, she outlived all the family members. So yeah, so you've got like quite a mix of people who've come and gone, and again, some of them, well, a lot of them actually have got quite a history to them. I know the goldsmith actually presented, I think it was Queen Elizabeth, with a gold sword, jewel encrusted, and it's actually, I'm not sure the building it's actually left in, but it's actually still with the family now. Like the City of York, it was obviously back in the day, wasn't as many buildings as we get now. But as you look, it's this 15th to 17th century half timber frame building opposite the walls of the castle, literally like 50-60 yards that way. You've also got St Cuthbert's Church, which is just down the road, and the church itself has links to the inn. Apparently there's a tunnel that runs from the inn to St Cuthbert's Church. For what purpose, we don't know. People don't believe in some cases that it's there. However, some builders, I think it was in the early noughties, they actually came out, ripped up a section of floor, and in the process of ripping the floor up, they found this big hole, shone a torch down there, and they found what looked like red sort of brick floor. Supposedly leads off towards the church, which again is literally just down the road. So there is some sort of proof that there is a passageway of sorts, but again, what it was used for, we don't know. The inn itself though, it's on a couple of levels. It was a little bit bigger back in the day. Out where the car park is, they used to have large horse stables. They were that big that during the Second World War, horses were actually brought here and held actually, like outside in the car park, what is our car park now, to actually store a lot of military horses. So again, it's always had some use in some way, shape or form. In regards to like the location and its paranormal activity, it's a proper mixed bag. It really is a proper mixed bag. I mean, you've got generally sort of modern spirits as well, but you obviously some of the more famous ones are you have a spirit of a lady who wears a long flowing white dress, and she's normally down in the main bar area looking towards the fireplace. People have reported seeing her with blonde hair, but most people seem to think that she's got dark hair. Now, I'm led to believe Henrietta Wolff, who obviously lived here, I'm led to believe that people think it's her and been waiting for family members. Obviously she lost her son quite young in battle, and obviously like her husband and other family members obviously passed away, and she was the last remaining one. Is it her that's seen in the bar? She never generally interacts with people, she's just generally seen there. There's also a chap who likes to wear like a bowler hat. Like they reckon he's some kind of builder or worker of some sort, so just some kind of just a general chap who does a lot of things by hand basically. Not nasty or aggressive or anything like that, he's just seen wandering the bar. Maybe he's looking for a pint, don't know. Couldn't blame him. Couldn't blame him.
Not, no.
After a hard day's work, couldn't blame him. But yeah, he's seen the bowler hat. Now if you think about it, you're looking sort of 1850s onwards for that type of headwear, so obviously you can sort of date into about that. There's also a little boy that's seen sometimes floating about, well, not literally, walking through the rooms. Yeah, he could be. You also have a cat, believe it or not, that likes to sort of appear from time to time. It does freak a few people out though, because there is actually a cat on site, a black cat, which is called Salem, and he will sneak into a room during an investigation and scare people to death.
That's going to be brilliant if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, you probably find I'll be the one running out the door. But yeah, so this cat is seen to just sort of vanish into the rooms. This room itself being one of the main rooms that he comes into. Now Salem, I've been here a couple of times and I've actually seen him what looks like playing on his own in the corner of the room just on the far side. So right. Is he interacting with something else? Because obviously they say obviously cats and dogs can actually see things that we can't.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, who knows? But you also have the stairs leading up to this base room, or the room that we're in now. They're quite wonky, as you probably know. After a few drinks, you don't really want to be coming up there. But apparently there's a set of legs that are seen sort of walking up the stairs that then just disappear to neither of the rooms. They just sort of stop at the top. So again, you've got like a mixed bag of sort of things going on, but that's not to count like the times I've been here. We've experienced shadow figures. There was a shadow figure in the bar not long ago. We're all in the main bar side, and there's like a little hatch with a window, but it's sort of like a frosty kind of window, and you can physically see this large outline of a chap, and he must have been 6'2", 6'3", give or take. And one of our sceptical guests was like, "No, I'm not having it. I'm running out there and going to have a look, see what's going on." He went out there, couldn't find anybody. Come back into the base room, into the bar, I should say, and again the figure was still stood there, and that was enough for him. He was gone. He was like out of it. He's like, "No, not having it. I'm definitely gone." We've had things move. This room in particular, we've had a lot of sort of physical touches and things like that have gone on in here. But the bedrooms as well, you've got 3 bedrooms, the Turpin room, the stag room and the cottage room. I know the Turpin room does have the name Turpin, obviously, as in sort of Dick Turpin type of name, but apparently that's one of the spirits that's actually seen up on these levels is not Dick Turpin, but a highwayman of sorts who likes to sort of wander around. Some of our guests have experienced that in the past. But again, there's a lot of sort of touching around the leg, like the lower leg kind of area. But yeah, in general terms, there's a lot of sort of physical activity up here.
Right.
We get a lot of communication. We use different equipments from like spirit boxes and Ouija boards and so on and so forth. But the spirit box is one of the key things up here. We get lots of names, and we've had a lot of names. This room more so. But in general, the inn itself has got so much character, so much history. It'd be hard to say there's nothing happening here, because it happens, and when everyone's gone as well. Like at the end of the night, you tend to find that things are sort of stirred up that little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very interesting sort of place to investigate. It's one of my favourites. I will say that. It does give you this kind of homely feel. You do feel welcomed here, but at the same time, when the lights are off, completely different environments. So yeah, I mean, it generally is just a very interesting location to come to. Again, quite a long history on the building. One other thing I forgot to mention actually, downstairs in the bar there's two sort of apparently key objects. One being a pipe, which builders found. They removed it from the inn and from the pub, and all kinds of weird and wonderful things were happening to the builders, to the point where they were like, we're not keeping it, we're bringing it back and we're going to leave it in the bar. And since then nobody apparently has touched it. Whether you can call it cursed or not, I don't know. But there is supposedly a cursed seat as well next to the fireplace. It's sort of built into the fireplace. It's just like a little seat just to the sort of, as you're looking at it to your left. And apparently anyone who sits in it either meets a terrible fate or has quite a run of bad luck, let's say. Me being me, there's not a cat and mouse chance you're going to get me sitting in that.
Well,
So,
I'll sit in that and just
yeah, well, just give it a go. I mean, by all means, you enjoy yourself on that seat. I don't think the fire will be burning, so it won't be very warm. But as in general terms, again, it's an interesting thing that you do have that kind of backstory, whether it's true or not. I mean, obviously, it's a different thing. But at the same time, it is actually quite an interesting thing to sort of work with and see if you can actually get any activity. And other than that, yeah, it's a good location to be. Looking forward to being here with the guests tonight, and hopefully they bring like a lot of energy with them to sort of stir up any spirits that want to come forward and interact and communicate with us. And you never know, full apparitions, people being touched.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be a cracking Saturday night.
Let's hope for a good night.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are you guys back here again at any point for the year?
We will be back here. I couldn't give you the exact dates.
It's okay, because what we can do is this magic. We can put the dates on there
right,
if they're available. So
yeah, we will be back. And to be honest, I'd love to come back again. You know, I mean, it's one of these locations that I love to come to. Obviously, we do have what is a ghost walk now, which is down by Tyburn, which is like an execution kind of area. Again, it's just one of our ghost walks, because obviously we do the events like tonight, which is like an overnight thing, and then we have the ghost walks, which is like just a couple of hours, and it's a site of where majority of the executions that took place within the city of York, so the public can view.
Yeah.
There is actually some marker stones there that sort of highlights where these things took place, and obviously people met an awful end. But in general terms, with York being York, obviously one of the oldest cities in the country, I don't doubt you could walk out on the streets in the middle of the night and experience something.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you've got obviously
full of history.
Well, that's it. You've got the cathedral just down the road. You've got other sort of oldie worldy pubs around here, and again, like the history of the place is just second to none in one sense. But it is what it is, and looking forward to tonight. Looking forward to the investigation. So it should be fun.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for the invite to come down and film.
No worries. I appreciate you coming, and look forward to seeing what you get.
Yeah.